Okay. Up now we have Spyro 2. It's going to be good. Are you ready to go, runner?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, countdown? Yeah, okay. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. So this is Spyro 2 14 Talisman. Basically, this category, you collect the 14 talismans from the first 2 homeworlds. This is basically the old any % route before a major skip was found to skip into the second boss. But people like this category a lot more than the current any %. So yeah, they kind of kept it as a legacy category. So
yeah, the game's very, very broken. You can beat it in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, 80%, but this is a cool kind of mid-length category. So Mart's collecting a bunch of gems. There's a fair few gem requirements in this run. You need, what is it, 1,300?
Yeah, 500 for swim and then 400 for each level. So
yeah, so there's 2 levels you need to unlock later, and we're also going to buy the swim ability.
yeah, there is a faster route where you don't have to buy swim, but it is quite a bit harder. So
yeah, there's I think 3 kind of major routes for this category, depending on how all in you want to go with strats and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good for beginners to pick up the game, but it's also got a really high skill ceiling.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this trick. I get 3 attempts at it. I really hope I can show it off, because it's very cool. And I'll get Dak to explain it once, if I get it.
Well,
Yeah. When I get
give it a go.
Yeah. Alright. Let's go. First beetle. Easy trick.
Easy money. Alright, so that's Beetle Proxy. So fodders and enemies in this game have some weird properties with their hitboxes. Generally you can like charge through dead bodies, but you can't glide through them. And so if you kill a beetle like that, and then charge jump into its hitbox, and then tap X, Spyro stops charging for a frame or 2. And during that time, the game tries to eject you out of the hitbox because you're not allowed to be in there. And then you start charging again, and you carry that the momentum from that ejection into a charge. And you get the result that we got there. You get shot straight upwards.
Yeah, it saves about 20-25 seconds, I think, optimally. Off that first one. I think it saves less. You get 2 more attempts in the second room. It saves a lot of time because you have to basically open a bunch of doors to get to the end of the level. And it's very, very slow. So that way you can just skip to the top of the level.
Yeah.
And yeah, skip having to do all that. And there's a lot of high-value gems up on that area as well, so you don't lose a lot of gems going that top area as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
So this is Colossus. After this level, I will need the swim ability because you buy it just outside Colossus.
Yeah, he's been detouring quite a lot for gems in this first 3 levels. That's going to calm down a bit after he buys swim. It's just that there's a pretty large gem requirement very early in the run.
Yeah.
And that's the main benefit of the routes where you don't buy swim. You can take these first 3 levels a lot quicker.
Yeah. I guess if you want to explain the double jump as well, because I'm doing that everywhere.
Yeah. So there's a movement technique that he's doing basically everywhere that's not necessarily intended. If you jump and then charge in the air while you're not pressing any directional buttons, you'll charge upwards for some reason. We call it the double jump. It's not really 2 jumps. It's like an upwards charge out of a jump. But it lets you make a whole lot of jumps that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. You get a bunch of extra height, a bunch of extra distance on glides, using it constantly. It's not really the double jump that breaks the game. Like, the game is already pretty, there's lots of non-solid textures and stuff that you can go through. But it does help to do a lot of stuff that you wouldn't otherwise be able to, or would be too hard.
Alright, so I now have just over 500. I need 500 for swim. So yeah, the routing is pretty tight there. I think I ended it, 504.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I'm just going to double jump over to Moneybags here and buy the swim ability. The other route would not, it would have left both of those, I think both of those levels early, and then it would have gone out of bounds around this side, so you can
Yeah,
skip
you can
swimming
skip the
here.
swim.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes the level after the one I'm about to go into a little bit harder as well, because you need a big, you need a big level skip.
And then you lose some time later on having to do some stuff without swim. But
yeah, this one's just a little bit safer and a little bit easier.
So there's a cool skip in this level. You're supposed to get these little diodes. You're not going to see any of them, but you're supposed to open the electric fences. But instead, we can just go around this way. And turns out the roof of this building isn't solid, and so you can just go straight through and into the talisman room.
Yep. That's the end of the level.
Yeah. There's a lot of skips like that. The general approach to textures in this game was, if you are not supposed to be able to reach it, we'll just not make it solid, or not give it collision. So that roof was like invisible as well, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that is like visible but not solid.
That won't even be the shortest level either.
No,
there's some levels in the
ones.
second homeworld that are very short. So, all right, yeah. So this is a level that you can skip, because this is you're required to have swim to get through the level intentionally, as you'll see. But you can skip off this very first turtle.
Yeah, you would do a proxy off this turtle.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that because that's hard. Plus, I get a bunch of gems in this level as well, so...
Yeah. Yeah, so the next gem requirement is in a few levels' time. He's going to have to buy his way into a level called Zephyr. That's 400. And so he needs... That's not a very tight requirement, so he's not having to detour a lot, but there's a little bit of it.
I always miss the requirement, though, for some reason.
To work on your route. And then this door skip is pretty good.
If I can get it, that's...
Oh, come on.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you kind of like, if you charge straight off that button, like usually you're supposed to hit the turtle up to stand on that button so you can go through the door. But if you stand on the button and then just walk off the button and then charge, the door closes slower than it normally would. You can just charge straight through the door. So there's a little bit of timing required. It's not super tight though.
Alright, so next level's kind of the moment of truth.
Yeah.
There's a proxy in here that I think Mart's just going to go for until he gets it.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's not too difficult. I think most people have it pretty consistent, but it's easy to just kind of lose
Forget
it
how
at
to
random, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some sheep in this first room. And the guy who gives you the talisman is just up high in the first room. And so you can... No, that's alright.
That's good. No, it's not good. Okay. Never mind.
That's alright. So that seahorse up on the top platform, he gives you the talisman, but you can't get the talisman from him until you fill the room up with water. And so you need to proxy off that sheep, make it over into the next area. Like so.
Okay.
Nice. Bit too high.
A little bit, yeah.
And then hit this button, and it fills the level with water. And now the guy will give you the talisman.
Yeah, if you talk to him before you fill it with water, he'll just like, he'll say something and just not give you the talisman. It's like, you have to leave the level.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. You can accidentally talk to him. I know people... That portal doesn't work.
Yeah, only the very bottom corner of that portal actually works.
Yeah, yeah. I always forget, because Crystal Glacier, it's the left side, so... Yeah. So that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, second try's fine for a marathon run, for sure.
Well done. Okay, Spyro.
Alright, so this is the first boss. Very consistent.
Before you get to the castle dungeon.
If you can try and explain, there's lots of little things that are going on in this boss.
Okay, so Crush is completely manipulable. He does the same thing every time if you do the same thing every time. But he stands on these little like lights on the floor. At the moment they're all blue, but some of them will turn red later. And he does a different attack depending on what color he stood on. The first one, Mart jumped over the attack to make Crush move, but then on this second one, he took damage intentionally so the Crush would walk off the little platform. And then after Mart hit him with the rocks, he walked straight back onto the same one. And he'll be able to just keep him on this one for the whole rest of the fight. It's faster than letting him walk around everywhere. So in the second phase, he kind of chases you, so you let him walk one step off the platform and then just avoid him.
Okay. I'm always facing him back towards the platform as well, because if he's going to walk back there anyway, it saves him having to, like, turn around.
Yeah, Crush always faces you, so...
Always faces, always faces Spyro, so it just saves a little bit of time facing him towards the button he's going to walk to anyway.
Yeah,
so.
And those rocks on the last phase don't damage you.
Yeah.
So.
Alright. So that wasn't too bad. I think second try sheet, that was the worst thing that happened, which is pretty good. So
yeah, that's all good.
Summer Forest is very, very hard when you get to like a pretty high level.
Yeah, when you're having to get everything, it's tough.
Right.
This level's pretty tough as well, depending on what strats you want to go for.
Yeah,
There's not like crazy proxies or anything, but there's just a bunch of pretty tough jumps. So first you can jump over this chasm. You're supposed to free some frozen guys and use a catapult, but double jump is strong. And then you can wall glide flop off this thing.
This one's a bit funky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And then use some little platforming here to jump on this hut. Gotta be careful not to walk too far forward there, because the middle bit of the hut is not solid, and so you just fall straight through.
Kinda want that. Nope. Nice snowball.
I don't like those gems.
Yeah, I kinda need to route them out.
I took them out of my
room.
And then you can come up here and jump on this mountain.
I'm gonna play it safe.
Yeah, that's understandable. And just go straight into the talisman room.
Okay.
You're supposed to... The point of that level is you're supposed to free these frozen guys through the whole thing, and they open up the next part of the level, but yeah, no need.
Cool. So that went relatively pain-free.
Yeah.
Some of those double jumps are quite hard, so... I know you can get stuck at that wall glide flop thing. I know I do sometimes, so... I got that second try, which is fine. Hey, look at that. I'm actually going to get these anyway.
Yeah, like even if you have more than enough gems, it's still worth getting the ones that aren't out of the way, just because they help for the next requirement. Yeah,
because there's still one more requirement for Shady Oasis, 400 gems, so it means I can skip some gems later on that might be a bit slower.
Yeah.
So yeah, paid for Zephyr there. Needed 400 gems, so
there's this little tough jump at the start of Zephyr. That's kind of more difficult than it looks. The spot that you have to land on isn't exactly obvious. But then the rest of it's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so not all of that terrain is solid. So there's only very, very certain parts. If I had not the second part of the jump, if I had landed in the wrong spot, I would have just fallen through to my death, so yeah, obviously we use the intended way to get the cannon, and then go into the talisman room. So.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty recently discovered way to get into this room without breaking the without like blowing everything up, but requires a proxy off a wall. It's very strange.
Okay, and we have coming up one of the shortest levels. Coming up Skelos.
Yeah, we've got two of the shortest levels.
Yeah, two in a row. Yeah.
Skelos is pretty easy, and then Breeze. I think you go for hard strats in Breeze.
I do, yeah. I'm gonna get this anyway because I like getting the 10 gems.
That's life. So every 10 fodder you get a life. And so just depending on how many times you fail proxies, you can get extra lives at different places.
It's not like it should matter.
Yeah, like he doesn't need lives. No. So yeah, you can get a proxy off that. It's called a cat bat. It's pretty hard and doesn't save a lot of time.
I just wanted to go for it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's the end of the level. So a lot of the levels kind of work in almost U shapes or circles. So like they basically put the end of the level very, very close to the start of the level, but sort of just up a little bit higher, so you're not able to get there normally. But because you have the double jump, you can basically just skip right to the end of the level, and it's very, very, very short. Saves you having to run all the way around. Probably didn't need that. It's fine. This one is much the same thing, but yeah, there's a couple of harder jumps, so.
You don't even need to double jump to skip onto this boat.
Yeah.
Just put it too close.
That might not.
No,
Okay.
that
I
was
shouldn't
weird,
have made
yeah.
it. I didn't even really get a walking double jump off
Yeah,
that.
I don't know how that worked,
yeah.
but that was good.
Maskless is free. Alright. So there is a bunch of... So basically that's the end of the bottom area of Autumn Plains. There's a bunch of levels up the top area. And normally you would have to buy Climb. I don't even remember how much it is. I haven't bought it in so long.
Same as Swim, 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then climb up the bunch of ladders that you can kind of just see, just here.
Yeah.
But again, abusing the double jump,
Who needs it?
you don't need it at all. So you save the 500 gems. It just makes gem routing obviously a lot better.
Yeah, climb skip is something a lot of people struggle with when they first pick up the game. And it's still something you can just randomly fail and once you've practiced it a lot, but it's pretty consistent.
Alright. I guess I don't need that fire.
Didn't even go for the forward proxy off the going away.
Yeah, I should have gone for that. I forgot about that, yeah. Yeah, a lot of these levels are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there's like a whole run of easy levels in a row.
Yeah.
Like, you have Summer Forest, which is really hard, and then Crystal Glacier is pretty hard as well.
Yeah.
But then up and, like, for the rest of Autumn Plains, most of it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Only once you get to endgame, that starts to get a bit hard again.
Yeah.
So.
There's a whole bunch of skips at the end of the run that are going to be make or break.
So yeah, this is one of the few levels we have to do the intended way.
It's done.
There are 6 satyrs in stone that we have to free to unlock the final area, like the talisman area. So yeah, it breaks apart the mountain, and then we can get the talisman. You can skip into the final talisman area, but nothing's loaded and you can't get the talisman by skipping into it, so you have to do this the intended way. Unfortunately. So it's just going around and freeing these.
Yeah. And there's a kind of random factor here as well with quick skips. Sometimes the guys will give you control back quicker than normal.
Got one yet.
You can tell from the music because it plays this little jingle, and sometimes it plays a bit less of it. You got one there, yeah. Like a couple notes less.
It saves like half a second, I think, each time.
Yeah, and there's 6 of them. So.
Yeah. How am I missing this? Okay. Sketch. That's fine though. But yeah, there's like on the what was it, the 4th satyr, I kind of like as I was flaming him, I sort of glided towards the next one. Just again saves a little bit of time, so you can like flame him in midair. And I got to glide off going towards the next satyr, so saves me having to charge all the way down. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I think that and Shady are the 2 we have to do intended. I don't think there's any others we have to do the intended way.
Yeah. I guess you kind of do Sunny Beach, but you don't.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do the proxy if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good gem count. Alright.
So he has to kill 2 enemies at the start in Magna Cone because he needs to activate a Superfly power-up at the for the end bit. That's how power-ups work in this game. You kill a certain number of enemies to activate them.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you only need 2. So
Yeah, I guess they didn't want you to get stuck, because it's kind of easy to...
Oh, I missed it.
Nice.
Wow. I'm really good at this game.
Yeah, he's doing something here called a superfly jump.
There we go.
It's basically like a double jump, but while super flying. You kind of flap your wings and then charge, and you charge really far upwards, and you can bypass the height limit that normally exists for super flying. Which let him get up onto the top of the volcano without climbing the ladder.
And gem count is 85. Okay.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna get the 2 10s. Alright, so I need 400 gems. That's the last gem requirement to open Shady Oasis. Even with, like, using tool-assisted strats, there is no known way to get into this level. Every other level has a way into it somehow. This is the only level that there has not been a way found into it at all, no matter what you do.
That little building that it's in is all completely solid all the way around, so yeah, there's no way to get through these gates without Shorty, the hippo, and so you kind of just need to go through this the intended way, feeding Shorty these berries. He's getting gems here, but there's actually no gem requirements left, so it's all just... the one level where you have loads of time in which to get extra gems is after you need gems, so...
Oh my goodness. I kind of want gold sparks out of here as well. So I'm gonna get these. So yeah, it's basically just an escort mission. I'm gonna turn back and make sure he's following me here, because there are random occasions where he can just stop for no reason. Yeah,
sometimes he gets stuck on enemies, and like killing all the enemies seems to reduce the chance of him getting stuck, but sometimes even if you kill them all, it happens randomly.
Alright.
Thanks for helping.
So that's the last normal level, actually. And then we go to the second boss, which is Gold. And unlike the first boss, which is the same every time, this is not the same every time. This is pretty reliant on RNG. Obviously, you can play, you can do well with the RNG, like you can play well with what you get, but there's a lot of RNG factors. If you can go through them, I'm going to concentrate. Because you can very easily lose like a minute here.
So
just by not concentrating.
You can only damage Gulp with the ammo that gets dropped by the vultures. They drop eggs, and the eggs hatch, and they have barrels or bombs or rockets in them. The first 3 phases are always the same. You're always going to get only barrels in the first phase, and then if Gulp has 1 health missing, you'll always get bombs. And if he has 2 health missing, you'll always get barrels. The goal is to get what Mart just did there, which is a double hit.
That shouldn't have worked.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So after you hit Gulp once, he destroys all the ammo, but there's a small period of time in which you can hit him again during that time. If you have, in rocket phase, the double's free, because you can just pick up a rocket and then just run over to the other one and just shoot them quickly. But in all the other phases, it's random what ammo you get, and so you really have to just deal with whatever you get given. So I was lucky that he got a rocket there. Yeah, if he got anything else, he wouldn't have got that double. So yeah, the best you can kind of hope for in a normal fight is 5 cycles.
Damn it, that was wrong. Whatever, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, so if you get 5 doubles in a row, you'll kill him in 5 cycles, which is obviously a big benefit over 10 cycles, which is what it would take with only a single rocket.
Yeah. So that, if I'm holding a rocket in my mouth, I can't use a bomb to damage him. So I picked up a rocket thinking, oh, hopefully there would be a barrel, but I just played poorly. That was completely.
You also can't get the second hit of a double with a bomb. So if you just get lots of bombs, it becomes very difficult or impossible to get doubles.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was a solid fight.
Apart from the small mistake, that was very good.
So now we get to the end game kind of gauntlet of tricks. Depending on what route you do, you have to do different stuff in the end game here. What Mart needs here, first he's going to go for a proxy to try and get into Dragon Shores early. Yeah, he could have landed on the wall, I guess.
Damn.
Got
Yeah,
more.
I wanted to try and get that though, but alright. No,
Okay.
that
So
penguin was a bit uncooperative.
you can see what he was going for. You proxy off the penguin and land on that little arch, and from there you can jump over. But because he didn't get it, he has to go around the slightly longer way.
Yeah.
This is still a skip, though. You're supposed to get, by the head bash ability, to get inside this castle, but you can jump on the rocks out there and skip in. Go around this way. So Dragon Shores is a level that you're supposed to unlock after you've beaten the game, after you've beaten Ripto.
I missed it.
Yeah, that seemed really early. Yeah, so after you beat the game, you unlock Dragon Shores, which is like a post-game, mini-game level. But it also has something cool in it, which is a permanent fireball power-up that you're supposed to get as a reward for 100%ing the game, and you can then carry it over into a new save file.
Alright.
But with what Mart is doing here...
I've been failing this lately. This is not good.
It's all good.
It's fine. The rest of the game went really well, so I got lots of leeway here. Yeah, it sucks to get like a good run, and there's like a lot of kind of difficult tricks in Winter Tundra, so it's kind of very easy to lose a run this late in the game.
Yeah, if you're going for PBs in this, you need to get... You end up just like getting lots of decent runs to the end game and then losing them to Gulp and then to the tricks at the end. Yeah, there we go. So the reason he was able to get in there is because when levels aren't unlocked yet, the hitbox for the portal is stored directly underneath the like physical portal structure, out of bounds.
Easy.
Nice. So that's a pretty tough double jump to get over that wall. And then, yeah, you can just kind of hover under this power up, and it'll or miss it.
Okay. Oh dear. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I think I must have come at that from the wrong angle. If you come at it from a pretty sharp angle, sometimes it just won't give it to you for some reason. It's very weird.
The power up has a hitbox that extends below where it physically is as well, and you need to hover through the power up, like underneath where it is. You also need to be very careful not to swim in this water, because that would crash the game. Because there's no actual... You're not supposed to be able to swim in this level, and so unless you do a particular setup, if you try and swim in that water, you just crash the game.
Yeah. Alright, so I now have Fireball from that, which makes this final boss pretty trivial.
Yeah, that whole detour for Fireball was just to speed up the final boss, but it speeds it up by so much that is worth it if you do it properly. The intended way of fighting Ripto is very, very slow and very, very random.
Too early.
That looked like a good setup as well.
It was a great setup, yeah. I had it perfect, but...
So this is the skip to actually get into the final boss. You're supposed to need 40 orbs, which you get for doing mini-games and challenges throughout the game. But we don't need that.
This is what I get for having such a good rest of the game.
Yeah, that was a decent run.
Yeah. Too late, come on.
It's a pretty finicky thing to do, because if you go too low, you miss the swim trigger. If you go too high, you bonk on the scenery like Mart did there.
I kind of knew this was going to happen. This is the one trick that I can never... It's not super hard, but I don't have any kind of consistency with it. I don't know what's happening, man. This is actually not okay. I'm gonna Death Abuse because it's actually just quicker.
Quickest way to get back up there is to just Death Abuse.
I've only got 2 attempts before a game over as well, which is a bit worrying.
Nice,
we go.
okay.
That was almost too low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can just skip that final door, which you need 40 orbs for. And obviously we didn't collect a single orb, so yeah, you need to get that. There's a couple of other ways to get in there, but they're very, very
Much
hard.
harder than that, yeah.
Spyro, we want.
Like,
And
there's
then-
only a few people who do them in runs, so...
And then, yeah, this is the fireball power-up. You can just roast Ripto. The first two phases just go by so fast. That was an early hit. The fireball persists through the cutscene, and so if you shoot a fireball just as the phase is about to transition, and then skip the cutscene at the right time, you hit him with the fireball from the previous phase. And the same thing there. And then, yeah, this phase you're supposed to have fireball, so this is just as intended.
I missed him.
Coming up on time.
Oh yeah,
very
time's
soon,
very
yeah.
soon, yeah.
Hopefully you get the extra hit here. Nice.
Time. Ah, it sucks.
That's alright.
That's fine, I guess. Yeah, so that's Spyro 2. Thank you to Dactyli for the commentary.
No worries,
But,
no worries.
yeah, stay tuned. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. A lot
Yeah, I
of good
think
stuff.
Sly Cooper's
Sly
next,
Cooper's coming up. Yeah,
Crowns
it's
is
very,
really
very
good
good. Cool. Thank you.